Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of First Impression Sports Talk. I'm your host, Jasmine Pollock, and today we have a good show for you guys. We're going to get into Odell Beckham signing with the Ravens, Jalen Hurts' big contract, and a little bit of the NBA playoffs. So let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to First Impression Sports Talk. To kick the day off, we're going to talk about the NFL. So we know that the draft is next week, and there's going to be a lot of hoopla about that. And I want to make a special announcement that I will be having a draft show special on draft night, where I'm going to have a multitude of people come on from various fan bases to talk about their team and their picks, and just overall what teams are doing to, better themselves in the draft and in the season. So I want to bring on Cole just to start. So we're going to talk a little bit about what he expects, just a little conversation, what he expects the Steelers to do and his spiel on Pittsburgh sports. So, Cole, give it away. What's going on in Pittsburgh sports? And then we're going to get back and talk about Odell and Jalen Hurts.
Ron Hextall's been fired. Thank you. Good riddance. See you later, buddy. That was awesome when they fired him. He sucked. He was one of the worst general managers in Penguins history. He's probably the worst. He screwed up the whole financial situation. He signed Jeff Carter. He signed Kasperi Kapanen. He traded for Mikael Granlund, and he was totally invisible the rest of the season. So he's gone, and thank God. What an awful hire. And hopefully that Jasmine's Tampa Bay Lightning can go and beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. Someone can get Kyle Dubas as our next general manager. So that would really be awesome if we can get him, because he's pretty good. He'd be a very good hire for the Penguins. But he's gone. Steelers are starting soon. The NFL draft is going to be getting underway here in about a week and a half. I can't wait. I want my offensive tackle because they need to protect Kenny Pickett, because I don't want to see Kenny Pickett get killed on the field next season.
And that is that. That is Pittsburgh sports with Cole. And Cole, let's get into your division rivals, so you say. So the Ravens have picked up Odell Beckham. This happened on Easter Sunday. And he signs an $18 million contract for 1 year with $15 million guaranteed. What is your reaction to that? Is this good for the Ravens? Should they have given him that much money for just 1 year after we haven't seen him play for a year?
No. I would not give anybody $18 million if they have not played for a year. He hasn't played football for a year because he was hurt. Think he's coming off an ACL injury, am I right?
ACL, yep.
Yeah, ACL.
He's already had two.
Some guys recover from that. Some guys don't. I think it's a bad signing. I didn't like it for the Ravens, but that's okay. The Ravens are allowed to go and screw up their team, because then that's all right, because I don't like the Ravens. I'm a Steelers fan.
Right. Yes. And I don't agree with the pick either, or the pickup either, because we haven't seen Odell since the Super Bowl when the Rams and the Bengals played, and he tore his ACL in that game, early in that game. And I've seen he's been working out and doing things here and there. But if I was the Ravens, I'm not paying that much when there's so many other people you could have went to go trade for and get maybe a DeAndre Hopkins or somebody like that, a good right receiver. I saw that the Dolphins just picked up Robbie Anderson. They could have got somebody like that, somebody cheap off the market, quick, very good wide receiver. But Odell, $18 million for 1 year and then 15 of that guaranteed. I'm not sure about that. Hopefully the Ravens get it together, because Lamar still wants his money, especially what he saw Deshaun get, a couple years ago. And then, of course, now Jalen Hurts this morning. So, Cole, for the Ravens, should they sign Lamar to that big contract? Should he get that money? Should he get a big contract?
Well, I think we just need to go back to how all this started. Lamar actually needs to go and get an agent, somebody with a law degree, not have his mom go out and handle all his contract situations. Lamar doesn't seem like the brightest dude. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I deserve all this money. Go prove it. Have you won in the playoffs? No. He hasn't won in the playoffs. If you want that money, you need to prove it. You need to be a winner. Lamar, he's a great running quarterback. He's injury prone. I can't give him that money. I honestly, if I'm the Ravens, I wouldn't give him the money. I honestly wouldn't. I don't think a team can go and give him that money that he wants because he's been injury prone and he hasn't won in the playoffs when it really matters.
Yep. And that me and my dad had a long conversation about that. I'm one of those people. I love Lamar. I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan, but we were having this conversation about who we want right now, Jalen Hurts or Lamar. And my dad was like, "Oh, I'm picking Lamar over Jalen." I said, "No way. No way." No. Because my dad says, okay, Lamar he looks at the athleticism of Lamar. Of course, he's a heck of an athlete. Once in a lifetime talent. You're not going to get a lot of guys who can do stuff like what he can do with the ball. But what Jalen was able to do in his second season, get his team to the Super Bowl and literally a couple plays away from winning, even a play away from winning it, and he played exceptionally well. Now he has this big contract. So let's talk about Jalen Hurts. He signs this huge contract, and now he is the highest paid NFL player of all time. What's your take on this? Did he deserve that money? Should the Eagles have given him that much money?
Yeah, I mean, I think he deserves it. I think Jalen Hurts has proven a lot to me. I wasn't sold on him coming out of the draft, but I'm sold on him now. I think he's a really talented quarterback. The way he's played so far, to get his team to the Super Bowl, he played exceptionally well. They could have won that Super Bowl. It was a very good game. I agree with the Eagles going and giving him the money that he deserves.
Absolutely.
But on the Ravens, absolutely not. I'm not giving Lamar that contract. But Jalen Hurts, he's earned it. He's lived it. He took that team on their back, and he has proven so much, and he has made so much improvements as a player. And I hope he can continue to live up to that contract because I think you could be really looking at, depending on how his career goes, an all-time great if he really lives up and does what he's supposed to do.
And not to mention his leadership and how the team rallies around him. He's a heck of a leader, and he's always had that leadership aspect to him, and he's able to lead his team, and really they go as far as he goes. And I think that this was well-deserved. He has an all-female management staff, so that's very huge too, making history like that. And signing a big contract like that, the Eagles have their future. They have their future quarterback. That's the guy that they want, and they have him. But we have Jeremiah. Let's bring on Jeremiah, and let's talk about Lamar and Jalen Hurts. So, Jeremiah, Cole does not think that the Ravens should pay Lamar. What's your take on that? And how does this compare to what Jalen just signed this morning?
I think that Lamar should get a big payday, but I don't think at the extent of, I would say, Jalen Hurts type of money yet. I would say he can get close to that, but you even see when it came to the guarantee that even Jalen didn't get as much guarantee coming back than Deshaun did. And, that's just the trickery right now when it comes to everything within the contract negotiation standpoint. But shout out to his agent for actually getting him this contract, because for him to be the only one in history to get this big deal.
And she's a woman.
Yes.
Let's really shed light on this situation. Jalen Hurts has an all-female management staff. From PR to his agent to anything you can think of, they're all women. He wanted an all-female staff, and his agent, which is a woman, got this deal signed. Do you know how big, and a black woman
Huge.
got this deal signed for him? And now this is like, wow. Of course, this is inspiring to me, but for her, and I was reading the story today about how her and Jalen became, partners. So at the draft, nobody wanted to be his agent, and he was a second round pick, and nobody was really sold on Jalen. And she's the one that DM'd him and said, "Hey, do you have an agent? If you don't, I would like to be your agent." He made that deal, and
She's shooting her
voila.
shot. Yeah.
2 years later, she got him this big contract, highest paid NFL player in history. In history, this is huge. And for Jalen, he deserved it. For the second season, he got his team to the Super Bowl, and we've seen a dramatic improvement into what he is now, getting his team to that Super Bowl, nearly a play away from winning that Super Bowl. He's going to be playing in a lot of Super Bowls here to come. Him staying healthy, them keeping everyone together, them going into this draft. I think they've been drafting very well. Nick Sirianni, the head coach, he loves these guys, and he wants to win for these guys, and they want to win for him. The Eagles have a very, very bright future. And honestly, they're going to be the team to beat next year in the NFC. They are.
And that should make, as I am Jalen Hurts, I am feeling so good in this moment. Not only because I got my money, but also because my organization believes in me. At the end of the day, they're going to have players that's going to come and go. Now, I know they lost a little bit of pieces, but they're still going to be a dominant team, especially in that conference. But to know that the team was just even saying, even before this offseason happened, even during the season, even before this season even started, we're sticking behind Jalen. The coaches sticking behind him, the owner, and then you have all of the Philly fans, they're buying into, and you know how critical Philly fans are.
Absolutely.
And for him to actually get that achievement, because who knows, before he even went out, this man could have been MVP in a sort of way. He was hitting big numbers
behind Mahomes.
Yes, and he was hitting big numbers. If he hadn't got injured right before the end of this season, he would have got MVP. And not to mention him going to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's a huge thing. And for me, he earned that money all through this year because he has the driving force. Now, as for Lamar, I do think that he earns himself a big ascension, especially all the things that he's gone through. But still, I wouldn't have gotten it to where it's the same amount as Jalen. I will put it just a little bit below.
Yes, and I think right now, my dad is very critical of this situation because he's looking at it from a business standpoint. We all know that Lamar's mom is trying to negotiate.
Yes.
He's his agent, and that could be some pros and cons. Now, me, I'm for it because I think that's huge. That his mom is his agent and trying to make those deals. But me and my dad both agreed today that you have a lot of players, a lot of quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert who are coming. They're coming and they might skip over you and surpass you and different things like that. So for Lamar, I think Lamar deserves his money. I believe that it deserves an extension. And he is the reason why the Ravens are still relevant today. But they need to build around him. I think they need to build a solid team and a solid defense. And they need to give him his money. But this goes to show that Lamar has to stay healthy. He has to make sure when you get to that place, you have to win. And that's another argument is Lamar's never won a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a little bit more than OBJ. You're going to need other pieces around. You need to have himself, now they have a great run back, but they need that number, that main running back.
No. I think their running game is fine. Their running game is perfect. But you have J.K. Dobbs, you have Edwards, you have a lot of guys.
Yeah, I'm not mad at those running backs when it comes to
but it's the receiving core that I'm worried about. Mark Andrews is that guy.
Oh yeah, well that's
the receiving core it can't just be Odell, and they need to shore up their defense immediately because when you have an offense like that that's very run first, your defense should be in the top 5, at least top 5.
Because they could make a pitch. Even if I am them, I would try to maybe go after D-Hop, if anything.
Maybe
You need to try to swing, because I know when it comes to Lamar, he wants his money, but he also wants to be in the good situation that he's also winning.
Especially how the AFC is stacking up, you need to build around your young quarterback. But shout out to Jalen Hurts, well deserved. This was amazing, and this young man is going to take these Eagles far and far in the future. He's going to be a great asset for them. He is their future, and I'm really, really excited for him and just his agent, his family, and different things like that. So shout out to the Eagles. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Keep playing well, because I'm a fan of you. We're all fans of you. But when we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit of hockey, the NHL playoffs start, and the weekend of NBA playoffs started last week. So we're going to get into that. So we'll be right back with a short break.
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Welcome back to Jazz's First Impression Sports Talk. If you'd like to see past episodes of my show, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Jasmine's First Impression Sports Talk, or you can go to my website at jasmineonsports.com. If you would like to get in contact with me on Twitter, it's going to be at JazzyEsk. And definitely make sure I tweet a lot every day about many sports topics, retweets, and a lot of different things like that. But let's get into the NHL hockey season is here. The National Hockey League playoffs is here. Lightning play the Maple Leafs. And man, oh man, the playoffs start today. The race to the Stanley Cup starts today. So Jeremiah, the Panthers, let's talk about your Panthers. Who are they playing? How long are they going to stick within this series? Are they going to win this series? What are they going to do?
So the Florida Panthers are playing the number 1 Bruins. You know, if people don't understand what I'm saying, the number 1 team Bruins, which is 82-65.
And can I say something? The Bruins are the fastest team in NHL history to get a playoff berth and reach 50 wins. But go ahead.
But you know something that's going to be happening right here. I mean, it's going to be the most shocking thing, but it's never shocking to me because I always go for the underdog. Florida Panthers. When it comes to the Florida Panthers, I mean, we don't have the biggest playoff experience, but we have a little bit. We're starting to get inside there to where you're going to see us more often. We got these battles against the Lightning, and then plus against
battles.
Teams.
Okay.
And
battles.
When it comes to this series right here, I understand you're the number 1 team, you're the fastest team, but we're going into the playoffs right now. Playoffs are very different, and that's why when it comes to Lightning, I got Lightning because this is my thing. Playoff experience goes
now. I am a little worried. The Maple Leafs are good, but they haven't won a playoff game since 2004. We've been the Stanley Cup final for 3 straight years. We won 2 of those. We lose to the Avalanche last year. We could have easily three-peated, but I think right now when we talk about the Lightning is the most scariest team because of the experience that we have. Now we are getting older, and I feel like right now we're trying to navigate on, how we're going to look against the Maple Leafs, a much faster team. But I like our chances. We've been in the Stanley Cup for 3 years, guys. I mean, we have the experience. This doesn't faze us at all. And we have been in the playoffs for so long. And if you look at it also, the playoffs for us, we will have a decent regular season. Maybe, we might be that second seed, that third seed. Like right now, we're the 3rd seed. We've always been around that. And then the playoffs, it's like a switch. So everyone can say, I don't know about the Lightning, but I mean, if you go to the Stanley Cup 3 straight times.
I mean, but that's what makes them so special. That's what makes them so special. The Maple Leafs, I mean, they're having a great year, of course. But like I said, when you get into the playoff realm, I mean, you see it every time. It don't matter which sport that you're in. When it comes to regular season and when it comes to the playoffs, it's totally different. That's why when it comes to the Bruins, they're coming into our our world, because we're underdogs at the end of the day, but still at the same time, it's starting 0-0 once you get into those
Now
playoffs.
you guys do travel to play them.
Oh yeah, I mean, of
You know
course,
Boston's going to be very loud.
it's gonna be very loud, only because, of course, being number one in what they did this year was incredible. I mean, they're a fast-paced team,
Look
like
at
you
this.
said.
You got the Boston Celtics and Boston Bruins. They're
And
both
I'm not a
in
big
playoffs.
fan of Boston fans. I'm not a big fan of Boston
Me
fans,
neither.
but
Me neither.
I think it's going to be a good series. I don't think it's going to be a sweep, as many people are going to say. I think that it's probably going to go within the 5 or 6 games.
All these every hockey playoffs is always competitive.
Yes.
I've seen so many great hockey games, even last season, where these teams are competing at high levels, and I expect that this time around too. I'm really excited. I have the Lightning in 6.
You giving them? I give Lightning in 5. I got Lightning.
No way. I have much respect for the Maple Leafs. I'm giving them 6. Lightning in 6 at home. At home, we're going
Shout out
to
to
take it.
Toronto, but when it comes to the Lightning, it's just like they just have that on switch. Now you got players that are getting older for Lightning, but still at the same time, it's the veterans inside of them that they just, even though they're streaky throughout this regular season, it's just
They've always been like that.
Yes.
Always. But let's go into the other team, or the other playoffs, which is the NBA playoffs that kicked off this past weekend. So many great games. Now, we had some couple of games that were like, okay, that's boring, but majority of the first games have been very competitive.
Yes.
So, Jeremiah, I see you with your Heat shirt. The Heat beat the Bucks. Even though Milwaukee was heavy favorites, the Miami Heat go in Milwaukee and beat the Bucks. Now we know Tyler Hero is going to be out for the rest of the playoffs with a broken hand. And then we don't know about Giannis's health because he did have a lower back contusion that didn't come back in the game. So, Jeremiah, what was your reaction to the Heat stealing game 1 on the road?
To me, it's no surprise to me. When it comes to Miami,
you weren't surprised?
No. When it comes to us, we are so used to being the underdogs that we take teams by storm. Even when it came to the last season, as being a number 1 seed in the playoffs, still get no respect. And we still had to play like we were still underdogs. And that's what's so special about this team. Going into the game, even while Giannis was playing, the Heat took a 14-point lead to just even start the game. Now, many people can just say it's only 1 game, which is only 1 game. But still, you give a team like that so much confidence and impact to be like, I am not scared of you. When it comes to Milwaukee and Miami, we have had 3 to 4 seasons in a row to where we're playing each other in this competitive. When it came to the 76ers, when it comes to the Boston, that's why when it came to Boston dodging us and playing against the Hawks, I know they was like, woof, we don't have to play
Boston
them.
And Miami go back and forth.
Because we always give teams problems at the end of the day. Yeah. And like we just said, it all depends on Giannis's health to see how this series is going to really go. Now, if he comes back, I do have the games going within 6. And I'll probably give Milwaukee that edge going to that 6th game. But if Giannis is out and we are able to maybe...
I don't think Milwaukee can win without Giannis.
They can't really, because although they play without him, but that's regular season. As playoffs is totally different. And plus, I wouldn't be surprised if while Hero is out, you have Oladipo come off the bench and he can maybe surprise you what he can do.
Absolutely. But that is a huge loss for the Heat, losing somebody like Tyler Hero.
20 points per game.
He adds a certain energy to the offense that the Heat have been using for the past couple of years, but the Heat still game 1. That's huge. That is huge.
Yes.
I mean, because now like Milwaukee's like, dang, they're on notice now. But let's go to the Western Conference.
Yes.
The Lakers go on the road and beat up Ja Morant and those Grizzlies. Now, Jeremiah, the question was, a lot of people said, man, I don't think the Lakers going to make it. Now, I know it's game 1. I know. But the way the Lakers looked yesterday, I have to say, them and Sacramento had the most impressive win in the game 1s this weekend.
I totally agree. Yes.
So, Jeremiah, let's talk about all of that. The Lakers, LeBron was the 4th best player yesterday, and they beat them by 16. Now, Ja, his hand is injured. They don't play until Wednesday, so he might, be in the lineup. We'll definitely see. But after what I saw yesterday, the physicality, the intensity, the defense, the scoring of other players besides LeBron and Anthony Davis, what was your reaction to how the Lakers played yesterday?
Well, it's almost to a testament of just seeing the ceiling that the Lakers have. I mean, because you already know they teased a lot so much in this regular season what their ceiling can look like if they do so much. But of course, they have the lacks of, playing lazy basketball sometimes, or maybe Anthony Davis not playing to his full potential, maybe LeBron being out, and it's just the chemistry. And I'm so glad he came into the second half because we was not gonna have no more of that.
I wasn't gonna watch the postseason after
Oh no,
that.
I was gonna watch that even happen because this is my thing. For the Lakers, they showed how deep they were, especially bench wise, and how many weapons as they are locked in. And you can just see the chemistry building and building every time I watch this team. They are so happy to be playing for one another, even through tough times and good times. They play as a unit. You saw LeBron on the side, Anthony Davis not really doing much in the second half, but they didn't have to do as much because what's called Hachimura and also Austin Reeves, they were like, tag teaming like through the whole Memphis team. And Memphis, they couldn't do anything to defend the Lakers. Now they can say this is only game one, but I don't think that the Memphis can have a game plan for that.
This is the thing that's scary about the situation. To LeBron's standards, that wasn't LeBron's best game.
No, not at all.
That's what's so scary about the Lakers is if you got those guys like that and they won behind them scoring, and LeBron James just sitting back like, oh.
Anthony Davis need to go for 35. I mean,
easily the next game, LeBron could say, I'm taking over the game. He could easily do that. That's what makes him so scared and that's why I think Rob Pelinka did a good job during the trade deadline, getting these pieces around LeBron and Anthony Davis so that they can go compete. And right now we're starting to see they have been winning a lot. They have been streaking into the playoffs at the right time. They're striking when the iron is hot.
Yes.
And it did not feel like the Grizzlies had an answer. And even in the beginning of the game, Anthony Davis set the tone in that game. He did at the beginning set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge. But shout out to the Lakers. Of course, you want to get this game to you want to go up 2-0 heading to
yes, you do.
LA
get this done faster.
Yeah, so they can get rest and what they need. But let's go to the other LA team or the other California teams, which is Golden State versus Sacramento. The beam is lit.
Light the beam.
Light the beam. They won their first playoff game in a very, very, very long time.
Since 2006.
2006, and we're in 2023. And man, was that an electrifying game. That arena was on fire in that game. So Jeremiah, what is your take? Are the Warriors in trouble? Now that Sacramento got that first win, and now they're like, man, we know what we can do against them.
Now, I'm not going to put down, of course, the Golden State because they have some possibilities. But this is my thing. The way that DeAndre Fox and also when it came to Malik Monk, you had so many guys going off and they were just giving it to them because they was pointing out the liabilities. Now for the Golden State, you have a lot of liabilities that they need to be looking at. Now, when it comes to Andrew Wiggins, I'm glad he's back. He's being a great defensive player, but as far as his shooting, it is not on. And that's going to happen when you haven't been playing back into game flow in a very long time. And plus, you get very winded fast. So, especially going against a young team like the Sacramento.
They're moving fast. Sacramento was going up and down the court. Like, it was speed.
And look, Sabonis to even have a big game, and they still won. And that's one thing that the Golden State, they need to be watching out for the next game because they were crashing the boards. The biggest things is rebounds in this whole playoffs. When it comes to the Lakers, when it comes to the Sacramento Kings, when it comes to the boards are so precious because they can decide a game down the road. Yes. And you even see inside the Clippers and the Suns series, the Clippers have more rebounds than the Suns.
Yep.
Yes, which is so surprising to me because you have a 7-foot guy in the lane that's supposed to be getting you rebounds. And I just think for Golden State, that another liability will also be Jordan Poole because he does not guard at all very good, and he becomes sometimes a liability when he takes the ball before and go out of control.
Warriors, and just to piggyback off what you said, the Warriors are really bent on their offense being their defense.
Yes.
But we're getting to a point now where people can score just as much. De'Aaron Fox had 40. He had 40 points. And Sabonis didn't even have his best game.
Yeah, the best game.
Then you know who else is a big matchup, even though Malik is phenomenal. I wish the Lakers could have kept him. But you know who else is a big factor for this Kings team? Matt Barnes. Or not Matt Barnes. Yep. No, not Matt Barnes. That's not his name. His name is what's his first name? Was Barnes. He used to play with the Golden State when they won their first championship. Remember that?
Yes.
And they traded him for KD. And he knows how to play this team. I've been in that system. I know what this is. He has playoff experience. He has a championship, and he's going to bring that veteran side to this young team. Like, hey, I know what it takes to beat this team.
Yes, and their coach, Mike Brown.
And their coach, Mike Brown, was coaching with Golden State.
Yes.
So he knows. So I'm telling you, the Warriors have to win game 2.
They have to
win game 2. If they don't, I don't know, Jeremiah.
I don't see that being good for them going down to Golden State, only because you'll have to be fighting for your lives in game 3. And God knows
Sacramento's not scared.
Yeah, they're not scared and backing off because you just see Fox after the game. He was like, when we talked about Dellavedova guarding behind Steph Curry, that's real. They are actually going at Curry like they're under him everywhere he's going. Now Curry's going to get his points. That's going to be a given. But it's the fact that they are turning up the defensive intensity every single possession. You know, they're winning and they're going because they're such a young team and they're moving and moving. I mean, they're doing the things that Golden State is not doing at their older age.
And also, the Warriors are not those same how they used to play defense before. They're not that same defensive team like they were. They're a lot slower. Of course, Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, their liabilities on defense. Draymond here and there, but I don't think Draymond is getting to that point as well. And Clay is not the same on the defense. No. He's not the same. So when we look at this Warriors team, they have to find some sort of whatever that last spark that they've been having and say, you know what, we need to do something because look, they haven't won on the road and that bothers your psyche. They've been a very bad road team this whole season. And now you have a young Sacramento team who everybody's discounting. Everyone's like, oh, I don't trust this team. And they took game 1 at home after they haven't won since 2006. And that arena and those fans are behind them. This Sacramento team is very scary. Very scary. So that is a series we definitely need to watch very closely.
And they play again tonight. So we're going to be tuning in.
Yes. So that wraps up First Impression Sports Talk. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you, Cole. I know Cole had to head out of here. Thank you, Remy. Thank you, everyone that was tuning in. We'll be back next Monday to talk more about these playoffs and the NHL playoffs as well. And then reminder, next Thursday, I'm having a special draft show of NFL Draft Night. I'm going to have a boatload of people on, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things regarding the draft. So we'll see you guys next week for more. Have a good one.